F-4 Phantom II and TA-4J Skyhawk are two of the most recognizable fighter jets of the Vietnam War. Both are well known for being fast, highly maneuverable, and lethal. The Collings Foundation saw the importance of preserving these legendary jets for civilian flight training programs and living history events. The Foundation is now offering for the first time ever flight experiences to members of the public. This once-in-a-lifetime opportunity allows pilots to experience the most important jet fighters of the Vietnam Cold War era from the best possible perspective, the cockpit of these legendary aircraft. The F-4 Phantom II, affectionately known to its crews as the Rhino, is powerful, fast, loud, and can carry a large payload of weapons and fuel. A holder of 25 world speed and altitude records, the Phantom made a name for itself in the skies over Vietnam. The Phantom was the first multi-service aircraft flying concurrently with the U.S. Navy, Air Force, and Marine Corps. First flown in May 1958, the Phantom II was originally developed for U.S. Navy fleet defense and entered service in 1961. The U.S. Air Force evaluated the F-4 for close air support, interdiction, and counter-air operations. In 1962, the Air Force approved its version of the aircraft and referred to it as the F-4C Phantom II. It made its first flight on May 27, 1963, and production deliveries to all branches of defense began in November 1963. Soon after introduction into service, the F-4 was quickly swept away from the glory of record-breaking flights and was thrust into combat in Southeast Asia. During the Vietnam War, the Phantom successfully bombed enemy positions, engaged in dogfights with North Vietnamese MiGs, and provided close air-to-ground support for the troops. The Collings Foundation acquired an F-4D Phantom II by means of an amendment to the Defense Authorization Bill of 1999. The Phantom that was secured by the Collings Foundation was one of several stored at the Davis-Monthan Air Force Base. To prepare this legendary aircraft for flight, a thorough 600-hour inspection was conducted. Engines were replaced with zero-time units. Avionics upgraded. Hydraulic systems and components were overhauled. Structural items tested and repaired. Ejection seats overhauled, and much more. The effort makes the Collings Foundation F-4 one of the best-maintained Phantoms ever. The A-4 Skyhawk is an attack aircraft originally designed to operate from United States Navy carriers. 50 years after the type's first flight, some Skyhawks produced remain in service with smaller air forces around the world. The Douglas Aircraft Corporation, later McDonnell Douglas, and now Boeing, designed the A-4 Skyhawk. The original designer, Ed Heinemann, opted for a design that would minimize size, weight, and complexity. Due to its nimble performance, power, and armament capabilities, the Skyhawk received the nicknames Heinemann's Hot Rod, Scooter, Tinker Toy, and Bantam Bomber. The Skyhawk served with the Navy's famed Blue Angels from 1974 to 1986 and the U.S. Navy's top gun aggressors at NAS Miramar due to its incredible thrust-to-weight ratio and astounding roll rate, making it one of the most maneuverable performers ever. The Collings Foundation was allocated a Douglas TA-4J Skyhawk through congressional action in October 2000. After looking at various aircraft that were held in storage at AMARC, Bureau number 153524 was selected because of the overall condition of the aircraft and its low airframe hours. After a long year of working transfer details with the Navy's representatives, the Foundation was allowed to move the aircraft to a private facility. The TA-4J Skyhawk was disassembled in Tucson late summer 2004 and shipped by truck to the facilities of Avcraft in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Reassembly, needed repairs, and flight inspections were completed. In the early part of 2005, the aircraft flew from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina to Midland, Texas, where it was repainted in the colors of Marine Squadron H&MS 11. This squadron was an all-volunteer group of pilots who flew the Skyhawk in the dangerous mission of a forward air controller, or FAST-FAC, over the skies of North Vietnam. The Skyhawk flew 50 years in American service. The flight training program takes place at the Collings Foundation's Houston, Texas facility. Each participant will take part in academic sessions on board the aircraft, including a presentation of safety procedures, ejection seat training, and cockpit orientation, before donning a Nomex flight suit and strapping into the most powerful civilian-operated fighters in the world. Flights will be personally tailored to each student's interests and capabilities. All of the Collings Foundation's instructor pilots are former U.S. Air Force and U.S. Navy fighter pilots with thousands of flight hours in the Phantom and Skyhawk. Now you can fulfill your dreams of flying these legendary fighter jets.